Now at 5, Special Olympics athletes compete in Pittsburgh for a regional youth track and field event. Plus, 5 McDonald County students make a commitment to join the military after graduation. And
prosecutors argue former President Trump violated the judge's gag order. I'm Michael George with the latest developments from his criminal trial.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Chances for rain and thunderstorms will increase throughout the week. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Let's go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, of course, we are in severe weather season, and severe weather will start to increase as we go through the week. We are going to have rounds of showers and thunderstorms, especially on Thursday, but most of the severe weather is going to stay to our west on Thursday, but we get into a pretty high probability for severe weather as we go into Friday afternoon and also Friday evening, and then again as we get into Saturday evening, and on top of that, a pretty high threat on Sunday as well. Looking outside right now, we do have some clouds, so you may get a random shower out there through the evening hours. Temperatures are mainly sitting mid to upper 60s to near 70 degrees. We have some clouds kind of scooting through and a random little sprinkle or two, but we're going to talk more about what is coming here in just a bit.
See you soon. More than 300 young Special Olympics athletes gathered today for the Special Olympics Kansas Youth Track and Field Competition at the Pitt State Plaster Center. Athletes competed in various categories, including the 200-meter run and softball throw. The competition began with an opening ceremony and a law enforcement torch run.
Really cool to see year after year the same relationships. People will see each other every year and they'll remember each other from the year prior, and it's cool to see those relationships continue to cultivate.
My brother and sister are special needs, so I've been coming to these for majority of my whole life.
That's cheating.
So you could say my whole life, but technically speaking, 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
The Southeast Regional Youth Track and Field is the largest event for the organization. More than 500 6th grade students in Crawford County today graduated from a youth leadership program. The Pittsburgh Area Chamber Foundation has hosted the program for 21 years now. It helps students develop leadership skills, including teamwork, communication, resolving conflict, and leading by example. The program has been instituted in every junior high school in Crawford County. Signing days at high schools are usually reserved for student athletes headed to college, but McDonald County High School today highlights some extra signings. 5 students committing to military service. Sam Brewer is headed to the U.S. Army. Aiden Ball and William Rector committing to the Marine Corps. Stacy Lopez Apolinar will join the Navy, and Keisha Raponi is joining the Missouri Army National Guard. Also, standout running back Sam Barton committed to play football at Missouri Southern. A challenging day in criminal court for former President Donald Trump. The judge clashed with Trump's lawyer as he refuted claims his client had violated a gag order. And a key witness said he squashed stories that could harm Trump's 2016 bid for the presidency. Michael George has the latest.
Former President Donald Trump left the 6th day of his criminal hush money trial fuming that he's stuck in a courtroom instead of on the campaign trail like President Biden.
He's out campaigning and I'm here in a courtroom sitting here sitting up as straight as I can all day long, because you know what? It's a very unfair situation.
Tuesday, former National Enquirer publisher David Pecker returned to the stand. He testified that during a 2015 meeting with Trump and his fixer Michael Cohen, he agreed to be Trump's eyes and ears, suppressing stories that could hurt Trump's 2016 run for the presidency. Pecker detailed 3 stories he bought just to kill, including an apparently false story about Trump fathering a child out of wedlock, and Trump's relationship with former Playboy model Karen McDougal. McDougal claims they had an affair in 2006.
An unconstitutional gag order by a highly conflicted judge.
Before testimony resumed Tuesday, Judge Merchan heard arguments about possible gag order violations. Prosecutors say Trump commented about potential witnesses 10 times on social media. The judge appeared frustrated with Trump's attorney's attempt to explain the posts, eventually telling him, "You're losing all credibility with the court."
That's just another way of saying, I don't trust you. Where's your precedent? Where's your facts?
After the hearing, Trump posted on his social media platform, "This is a kangaroo court, and the judge should recuse himself." Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The judge has not yet ruled on those possible gag order violations. The court does not meet on Wednesday, so testimony in the case resumes on Thursday. There are a growing number of campus demonstrations over the war in Gaza. Yesterday, police clashed with protesters at the Cal Poly campus in Humboldt County, California. Similar actions have become a flashpoint at many colleges and universities nationwide. President Biden yesterday condemned the anti-Semitic comments directed toward Jewish students. A final salute to the last living survivor of the USS Arizona, which sank during the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Crowds gathered today to pay their respects to Lou Conter outside St. Patrick's Catholic Church in Grass Valley, California, where his funeral was held. Meanwhile, in Hawaii, the National Park Service hosted a day of remembrance at the USS Arizona Memorial. It's in honor of the entire crew that survived the fateful day on December 7th, 1941. Still ahead, the CDC warns of an uptick in cases of measles all across our country. Plus, what a new study shows about the developmental delays experienced by infants during the pandemic. Topping today's Health Watch, the number of measles cases in the U.S. continues to rise, with 125 cases reported across 17 states so far this year. The CDC has warned the uptick during the first quarter of the year threatens the country's elimination status. Nicole Skanger reports.
The CDC is concerned that measles infections continue to rise in the United States. As of April 18th, 125 cases were reported in 17 states so far this year, the vast majority occurring in people who are not vaccinated or those whose vaccination status is not known. Nearly half of all cases are children under 5.
Parents, unfortunately, are withholding their children or delaying their children from being vaccinated against this disease.
Dr. William Schaffner with Vanderbilt University Medical Center says measles is the single most contagious virus we know. He warns there's a misconception among some parents that it causes only mild illness.
It is an absolutely nasty infection, and I would not wish a single child to have to experience measles.
Health officials are warning of a possible exposure at the Indianapolis Children's Museum during the solar eclipse after an infected person from out of state traveled there for the viewing. Anyone exposed could show symptoms as late as April 29th based on the incubation period. Symptoms are high fever, cough, runny nose, red eyes, white spots in the mouth, and a rash that starts on the hairline and face and spreads.
The measles virus can get down into your chest and cause pneumonia. Even more seriously, it can get into your brain and cause inflammation.
Doctors say the best way to avoid infection is to get vaccinated. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
Disease forecasters at the CDC have estimated the U.S. would likely reach 300 cases of measles this year, more than most recent years. New research in the Annals of Internal Medicine shows patients have lower rates of mortality and hospital readmissions when treated by female physicians, with female patients benefiting the most. Study authors say the findings indicate the two sexes practice medicine differently. Infants and young children experienced only modest delays in developmental milestones during the COVID-19 pandemic. Looking at survey data from more than 5,000 pediatric practices in the U.S., investigators at Johns Hopkins Children's Center say they found only small decreases in communication, problem solving, and social skills. They observed no changes in fine or gross motor skills. Seems age really is just a number. A study published by the American Psychological Association shows middle-aged and older adults believe old age begins later in life than their peers did decades ago. German researchers say increased life expectancy might contribute to this youthful perception, along with later retirement and some improved health aspects. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, President Biden celebrates Earth Week by announcing grants for home solar panels.
Plus, showers and thunderstorms increasing the next few days. We're going to look at that coming up. Not a bad Tuesday for us today. A lot of clouds during the afternoon hours as a cold front is slipping through the region, but overall, a pretty decent evening. Temperatures, most of us are sitting into the mid to upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, so severe threat. Let's move back to that. So this is going to be on Thursday. I think for us, just showers and thunderstorms, any severe weather stays mainly to our west. But on Friday, we are going to have the threat, and at least a moderate threat here in the orange, for showers, thunderstorms, which will be severe. As we go into Saturday, our next system rolls in. So again, in the orange, in the yellow, low to moderate severe threat for late Saturday. And then even on Sunday, especially in the early afternoon, especially on the Missouri side and in northwestern Arkansas. And we are going to have at least chances for all modes of severe weather, meaning hail, winds, and tornadoes as we get into that stretch really from Friday morning until Sunday evening. So let's look at it. So here's Thursday, bands of showers and thunderstorms. Any severe weather stays west. We get bands of showers and thunderstorms Friday morning, and then if we can clear out enough, we'll get a line of showers and thunderstorms severe. So this is 4, 5, 6 p.m. Friday evening. As we continue into Saturday, most of the day is going to be dry, but severe thunderstorms fire again, central Kansas, and then push east, northeast as we go through Saturday evening, heavy rain into Sunday morning, and then a line of severe thunderstorms again Sunday afternoon. Then we finally get a break. But it's still a couple days away. Just keep it in the back of your mind and prepare. Of course, it's severe weather season. All right, upper 60s to near 70 degrees. We do have a lot of clouds as that front is pushing through, currently sitting at 64, northerly winds at about 10 to 15. Through the evening, we slide back through the 60s, 50s, upper 40s for overnight lows. These clouds will start to break up as we go through the next few hours, and you can see a couple little sprinkles, light little showering in our southern counties. Most of you will stay dry. And then here's the beginnings of that next storm system, which will start to affect us, the first of two, by the time we get into Thursday. All right, for you tonight, clouds breaking. Look pretty good, upper 40s, overnight lows. Clouds increase, mostly cloudy skies once again for us tomorrow. There could be a spotty shower out there, especially if you live in northeastern Oklahoma. But the showers increase for us tomorrow night. Even a few rumbles of thunder, nothing strong, nothing severe, and then periods of showers and thunderstorms into Thursday morning, really lasting through the day. None of this should be severe, but it should be some decent, heavy amounts of rain. In fact, if we look at rainfall amounts, or at least potential over the next 5 days, a lot of areas are going to pick up 2, 3, 4, 5 inches of rain, which is something we could use. Let's go 71 tomorrow, 68 Thursday. We're going to go possible alert days Friday, Saturday, Sunday with that threat for severe weather. Warming up into lower 80s by Saturday, then a little bit of a break on Monday and Tuesday.
People are going to want to stay informed for the coming days.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Doug. President Biden yesterday announced $7 billion in EPA grants to increase household access to solar power. Traveled to William Forest Park in Triangle, Virginia to talk about the Solar for All program, which offers homeowners grants and loans to install solar panels on their property. The President says grants covering every state and territory in the country will help reduce carbon pollution by more than 30 metric tons over the next 25 years.
And it's a big deal. This new Solar for All program means that 900,000 households, 900,000 will have solar on the rooftops for the first time and soon. Millions of families will save over $400 a year in utility bills, and that's $350 million nationwide.
The president also announced the first jobs available as part of the American Climate Corps. Under the training program, more than 2,000 young people in 36 states can apply for positions aimed at fighting climate change. Coming up, a mission to save the world's coral reefs from a fourth global bleaching event. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Federal Trade Commission is blocking an acquisition involving 2 luxury fashion brands. The FTC says it'll sue to block Tapestry Inc.'s $8.5 billion purchase of Capri Holdings. The agency says the deal would eliminate competition between the fashion company's brands. The agency also says the deal could weaken employees' wages and workplace benefits. The companies say they'll, quote, vigorously defend against that case. The group behind protests at Google offices over the company's cloud computing contract with the Israeli government says Google has fired an additional 20 workers. No Tech for Apartheid says that's on top of the 30 already fired, bringing the total number of workers fired to 50. The group claims some of the workers who got fired were bystanders during last Tuesday's sit-in protests at Google offices in New York and Sunnyvale, California. Google declined to share the exact number of people fired, but confirms additional firings had taken place. The Supreme Court is hearing arguments about what powers the National Labor Relations Board has. The federal agency is charged with protecting workers' rights. In this case, Starbucks is asking the court to stop the NLRB from standing behind the activist unions. The case specifically deals with whether the agency has the power to get employees who were wrongly fired for union activity immediately rehired. Starbucks argues the NLRB's powers are not being applied uniformly across the country. Scientists are sounding the alarm about the world's coral reefs. U.S. scientists say rising sea temperatures are currently fueling a fourth global bleaching event, expected to be the most extensive on record. But as Ian Lee reports, one aquarium is on a mission to save them.
These corals are struggling to survive. Sweltering heat is bleaching reefs worldwide. Scientists warn some corals risk dying out completely, never to return. To save them, scientists at this zoo in the Netherlands created a sort of Noah's Ark.
So that's very important to keep these corals, as it's going not very well in the wild.
Divers tend this 2.1 million gallon underwater garden, home to 14 endangered coral species collected from the wild.
It's a matter after quarantine finding the right conditions to keep the corals and start to grow them. But it's a slow process. Some grow really slow and others grow quite fast.
Researchers closely monitor the aquarium's temperature, salinity, and light. They also study the corals' likes and dislikes. So if the day comes to return them to the wild, the scientists can make sure they feel right at home.
We tested behind the scenes what works for these corals, and feel that way we kind of know where to place them and how to keep them.
While also preserving them for future generations. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
The Dutch scientists aim to replicate their efforts across Europe to create a fleet of arks to ensure the corals never go extinct. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, looking into an effort to ban a popular screening service that cuts wait times for travelers. Then on KOIM News at 6, we're going to have more on today's Special Olympics track and field competition in Pittsburgh. Plus, a medical marijuana dispensary in Arkansas sues the state over its advertising restrictions. And the Diamond Missouri softball team looks to stay undefeated as they take on the red-hot Columbus Titans. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOIM News at 6. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced its 2024 class of inductees in the performer category. The inductees are Cher, Mary J. Blige, Dave Matthews Band, Ozzy Osbourne, Peter Frampton, Foreigner, Kool and the Gang, and A Tribe Called Quest. For the Musical Excellence Award, it's Dionne Warwick, Jimmy Buffett, MC5, and Norman Whitfield. The induction ceremony takes place October 19th in Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know specifically what the criteria are for the various categories, but I'm surprised that some of these aren't already.
I know. That's what like Foreigner.
Yes, so. That's what I would have thought. Dave Matthews Band?
Yeah.
The weather.
All right, we're going to have some clouds tonight and a random shower tomorrow. 71. Showers, thunderstorms start to pick up tomorrow night into Thursday. Non-severe, but our severe threat starts to increase on Friday.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOIM News at 6. We'll see you then. Let's make it a great evening.